All right, today we are cracking the code on something you see literally every day, but let's be honest, probably have no idea how to actually use the good old fire extinguisher. Think about it. You see them in hallways at school, in the office, at the mall, they're everywhere. But if a fire suddenly broke out right here, right now, would you confidently know what to do? There's a huge difference between seeing one and knowing how to use it. We're going to close that gap today. And the best part is, it's way simpler than you think. The secret to using a fire extinguisher like you know what you're doing comes down to a simple 4-letter code. It's super easy to remember, especially under pressure. Okay, so to really show you how this all works, I want to frame it with a real-world story, a time when all this theory was put to the test for real. So picture this. It's February 14th. I'm on my college campus, and suddenly there's a panic. Word is spreading that a fire started in a classroom, and worse, someone's trapped inside. Your heart just pounds in a situation like that, but I knew I had to do something, so I ran for the nearest extinguisher. Now, here's something you might not realize. Where I found it is super important. Fire extinguishers are almost always placed right next to a door or an exit, and it's on purpose. It's so you can grab it, turn around, and if the fire is too big, your escape route is right there behind you. You never want to get trapped. So I've got my escape route secured, I'm ready to deal with the fire, and this is where that secret code I mentioned comes into play. It's an acronym called PASS, and it is the key to everything. PASS. It stands for pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. Just 4 simple actions that tell you exactly what to do and in what order. Let's break down what each of those really means. First up, P is for pull. Every extinguisher has this little pin that stops it from going off by accident. You have to pull that pin out. Sometimes there's a thin plastic tie on it. That's a tamper seal. You just have to break it. Give it a good, hard twist and pull. Next, A is for aim. And listen up, because this is so important. You need to aim the nozzle of that hose at the base of the fire. I'm talking about where the fuel is actually burning, not up in the pretty flames. For the best control, you'll want to grip the hose right near the end of the nozzle. Then, the first S is for squeeze. Once you're aimed at the base, you squeeze the top lever down toward the handle. That's what actually releases the stuff inside. Be ready, because it comes out with a lot of force. And finally, the last S is for sweep. While you're squeezing that lever, you move the nozzle back and forth, from side to side, right across the entire base of the fire. You want to cover all the fuel. Keep sweeping until it looks like it's completely out. So, you see, the technique here is absolutely everything. If you aim at the flames, you're doing practically nothing. You have to attack the fuel source at the bottom, and you've got to give that lever a full, steady squeeze, not a little partial one, to get the job done right. And you need to be efficient because you are on the clock. That average fire extinguisher in your hand, it's going to be totally empty in about 45 seconds. That's it. You've got less than a minute, which is why every single second and every single move really counts. But hang on, before you even think about pass, before you even pull that pin, there are 3 critical rules you have to follow. These are the things you need to check in those few seconds before you commit to fighting the fire. Rule number 1, and this one is non-negotiable. Check the pressure gauge. It's that little dial on the top. It tells you if the extinguisher is actually going to work. If it's not charged, it's just a heavy paperweight. So you look at that gauge. You need to see the needle sitting in the green zone. If it's over on the red on the left side, it's empty, totally useless. If it's in the red on the right, it's overcharged and could be unstable. Green means go. Simple as that. Rule number 2, stay low. This is just science 101, right? Smoke and hot gases rise. The good, clean, breathable air is going to be down near the floor. Firefighters crawl for a reason. It's where the good air is. Staying low keeps you out of all that toxic smoke. And rule number 3, have some idea of what kind of fire you're fighting. Yeah, not all fires are the same. Using the wrong kind of extinguisher can, believe it or not, sometimes make things even worse. So that brings us to our next point. You've got to know your enemy. It's about matching the right tool to the right kind of fire. Don't worry, there are really just 3 main types to know about. Class A fires are your everyday combustibles: wood, paper, trash, things that leave an ash. So A is for ash. Class B fires are flammable liquids and gases. Think gasoline, oil. B is for a barrel of oil. And Class C fires, those involve live electrical stuff. So C is for current. Now, I know what you're thinking. How am I supposed to remember all that in an emergency? Well, here's the really good news. Almost every extinguisher you're going to see these days is a multi-purpose ABC model. They're designed to work on all three of those common fire types. So most of the time, you're probably covered. Okay, so let's boil this all down. What are the absolute must-know takeaways? First, always check that gauge for the green zone. Second, remember that magic word, PASS. Pull, aim, squeeze, sweep. Third, aim at the base, not the pretty flames. And finally, stay low to get that clean air. You now have the knowledge you need to take action in an emergency, but I want to leave you with one last thought. You know how to use an extinguisher now, but do you know where the nearest one is to you right at this very moment? Take a second later today, look around your home or your office. Finding it now could save a life tomorrow.